Oh.
So, hello, myRockworld. I'm very happy to be here sitting in Munich in the tour bus with Jeff Scott Soto. Welcome to myRockworld.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again.
Jeff, let's start with the first question. Not everyone is familiar with the band Soto. Everyone knows your name, but the band Soto. Please tell us something about this band Soto and what is different to the things you have previously done.
Well, that's the reason why we named the band Soto, because if we came up with a new name, a whole brand new trademark for everybody to get used to, then it would be even more difficult. At least with my last name, it does help the association of everybody knows who I am, as you said, but nobody really knows this project. But now they can associate Soto as a band that musically is separated from the other things that I've done as a solo artist. As a solo artist, I like to have different canvases, different paintings, where Soto is more. We have a more straight ahead sound. We're going for a more heavy sound. We're not trying to experiment and do different things like I do with my solo career. So that's the difference between the two things. And this is a band, it's a democracy. It's not just me. I am the final say when it comes to decisions and everything, but I do it with the band as opposed to making all the decisions for everybody.
Okay. And there's already a new album out called Divak or Divak. Divak is the name. It's the second album.
Yeah.
And tell us something about this album. How did this come together, and what is different also to the previous album?
Well, it's not really new anymore. It came out in April last year. And when we dropped the first album, there was no real game plan. There was no real promotion ideas. They basically just put it out, and they were hoping people would find out about it. And this was a mistake. So we didn't have much attention on the first album. I didn't want to wait the traditional time in between albums. Normally you wait 1 year, 1.5 years to do another album. I said, no, let's start right away, and let's release it a year after the first album, because at least people are talking about the band. Now they can talk more about it immediately that we're putting out a new album. And even the title of the album, it's a strange name because it makes you remember, it makes you want to talk about it. If I name the album after something else, like a song called Unblame or Weight of the World, it's just a basic title. But Divak makes you go, what does that mean? It makes you think and talk about it more.
What does it mean?
It's a Bulgarian word for savage or wild. It's we have a cat at home, a Bulgarian cat, and my wife is Bulgarian, and she's always like when it gets into trouble, always talking to it in Bulgarian, and always uses this word Divak, like, oh, you crazy animal. But I didn't know what she was saying, and I liked the word. I was like, wow, what a cool word. What does that mean? Yeah. And I like the way the word identifies with the Soto music. It's heavy, it's wild, it's savage. So we put the two together, and that's where we get the name.
As you said, this is a band project, and this is a real band.
Yeah.
Is it so that it's a democratic band and all the members write the songs?
Yes.
Or is it? Yeah, really.
Yes.
So it's not just your songs and the band.
Right. The first album was more. The first album was actually supposed to be my next solo album, but because it was too heavy and it sounded like a band, it didn't sound like a solo album anymore. The manager I was working with at the time said, I'm not going to be able to sell this as a Jeff Scott Soto album. You need to sell this as a band. And this is where I took my touring band and I asked them if they want to incorporate and make this into an actual band. So for the second album, everybody contributed. My drummer co-produced the album with me. Everybody's very involved with it. So, and very much so with the new stuff we're working on as well.
That's great. Do you have any favorite song on the new album, on the actual album, and why?
No, because that's like asking if you have 12 children, which one is your favorite?
Oh, okay.
every song has a different personality or a different reason why it's there. And therefore, I don't have any particular favorites. I like them all for their reasons.
I like it also very much. It's really great.
Thank you.
But I missed the vinyl release.
Yeah, I know. Well, again, this is an issue with when an album doesn't have the proper attention. The record company's not going to invest into the extra little things like vinyl and cassettes and the fun little things that people like to collect.
Have you thought about crowdfunding pledge or something?
Well, we're definitely doing. We're going indie on the next stuff. We're taking everything on our own, and we're gonna do the indie releases from now on because I feel it's better. where I'm at in my life, I think it's better for me and the band to have control of what we're doing than to the record companies. The ones that are interested, all they want to do is put it out there and hope that people buy it. There's no real attention anymore, and the only ones that they're focusing money and promotion are the young bands. So I think the best way for me to do it's the way we're going to do it now.
Yeah.
So Jeff, tell us something about the life of a musician nowadays, because as we now sit in a tour bus, and you told us before that 3 bands, that means 18 people travel with a tour bus through Europe, which is also an aspect that everybody brings the money together, because a tour is a hard way.
Yeah.
But how is it normally going when you get up, and how long you're driving normally? So, because the fans always think, okay, that the musicians come and play 2 hours and then they have just fun and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Is it so?
You have a bit of both. I mean, we balance the two. Obviously, we are going into a day off. Everybody will stay up late and we'll have some wine, we'll have some drinks and laughs, and but for the most part, everybody's very respectable on the bus, especially when others have to sleep for their voice, or if somebody's sick. Everybody primarily hangs out downstairs. It's a double-decker bus. There's another lounge upstairs it's only for Soto, so only the members of Soto use this, and the other bands primarily stay here. Sometimes, usually they go lie in their bunks and they'll text or do their own thing. So sorry, that's going on and off because of the improper power wattage. It's very difficult and expensive to tour, especially for a band like us, because we're an international band. Not only me from the U.S., but I have 2 guys from Brazil, and the easiest one to deal with is my lead guitar player from Spain. But the expenses of the plane tickets, the rehearsals, the hotel rooms at the beginning and at the end, the tour expenses that come with you always have accidents. You always have if somebody gets a fine, and then of course the cost of the bus, the fuel, and all these things. Everybody thinks just because you're charging 20 euros a ticket at the door that the band's pocketing these big money bags. It's not so.
Yeah, it's not so.
Where we need these resources, and especially the support bands, they normally don't get to play outside of their own hometowns.
Yes.
So they pay for the experience to come out and play in front of a lot of people, and hopefully they can gain new fans and actually continue doing it later. Yeah. I don't like the idea of anybody paying to play.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. It's the only way.
It's the only way.
If they're an unknown band, that's the only way they're going to be able to get in front of an international audience somewhere else outside of their own hometown.
So what would you say, how many hours is a normal day for a musician, for you?
Well, traditional day for me is I usually go to bed around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because it starts with the night before. If you have a show, by the time you unwind, by the time you finish, you don't even feel tired until you go to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I wake up maybe at 11 o'clock. We're usually pulled into the venue already and chilled. I can wake up and go brush my teeth, and we usually have about 2 or 3 hours before we have to do the sound check.
Yeah.
And then stuff like this, interviews, do dinner, the show, same thing. It's like the same drill every day.
Around 14 to 16 hours?
Absolutely, yeah. It can be, yes. But the good part about a nightliner is I don't feel the drive. I don't have to wake up by a certain time, a lobby call, or to catch a flight. I can go to sleep. When I wake up, I'm in the next city. And that's the best thing for me as a singer, because the alternative that we've done many years is we rent a van, we all have hotel rooms, and then we have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning because we have a 6-hour drive to get to sound check. And we have to do this routine every day, check in the hotel, check out of the hotel, meet this time. To me, that's hell.
Yeah.
I would rather have this and be on a bus with 18 smelly people.
Okay, very good. Thanks for the intel.
Coming back to the show tonight.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the set list? Will you only play Soto songs, or also will there be also maybe some songs from your previous career?
Well, of course we have to still mix it up. It would be silly and suicide of me if I just say we're only going to be concentrating on the new stuff, because a lot of people are coming because of my name, as my name is the name on the marquee. But I don't want people to get used to the fact that Soto represents the JSS band. The JSS band is something that represents my entire career Soto represents a completely different entity, like Talisman or like Wet or any of the other things that I've done. We usually don't do other songs from my career in those bands. So, but because I want to introduce everybody to the new music, we slip in a few things here and there that make everybody happy.
Very good.
So what songs will you slip in?
The ones that you hear tonight.
Okay, it's okay. That's good. That's very good. Jeff, who were your heroes starting out playing music?
It started with Motown and the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. I mean, I was a big fan of pop music as a child. I did not get into rock music until far later than my friends. I found it too noisy, and if I want to be snobby, I didn't think it was very talented.
What is still your favorite Motown song?
Ooh.
If you have
Probably.
been the singer, what song would it be? You want to sing?
There was multiple singers on one of my favorites.
know.
Papa Was a Rolling Stone. There's different voices going in and out. I just love the Temptations, and I love that sound, that whole energy that they had in those kind of songs. But it wasn't until bands like Toto and Journey came around, you could hear the R&B influence mixed with the rock. So that slowly got me into rock. And then my brother was into the heavier bands, and I'm like, I don't like that, I don't like it. All of a sudden I like it, and I started getting into Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Van Halen. So then my whole scope broadened. But I think it was very important for me to have a strong R&B base, because what I'm able to put into it now, it's completely different influence than others might be actually doing.
Maybe a cover of Papa Was a Rolling Stone in heavyweight.
Not with Soto, but we did do a cover of Michael Jackson's song "Given to Me" that we'll be doing tonight. We released it December as a free download, and it's getting a lot of YouTube attention. So it's
So tonight you're gonna hear a cover version of a Michael Jackson song.
yes,
Wow.
"Given to Me." Yeah,
That's great. The next question is a tricky one. Jeff, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give a 21-year-old version of yourself in case of music business, if you had the knowledge?
it's the same advice I give the 51-year-old version of me.
Yeah.
Don't give up, because if you give up, then you never really wanted it in the first place.
That's good. Right. That's great. Yeah. The next one, please tell us a secret story of yourself, or maybe of the band, that no one knows. Maybe something you do not get killed afterwards.
Yeah, well, I like
funny tour bus secrets.
Well, no, not really. There's none. It's kind of boring, actually. Something about myself that I don't really tell too many people. I like really cheesy reality shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
That'd be heavy.
I like to laugh at stupid people.
Okay. The last one. Some words to the fans, please.
Words to the fans. Well, it's been 32 years this year that I'm doing this, and it's incredible that I still have the chance to do this. So I'm humbled that people are still interested in what I'm doing, and that they still come to the shows, they still buy the records, and they still allow me to do this, because it could just be a hobby, a very expensive hobby for me otherwise. So to the fans, it's a thank you that I can't put into words.
That's great.
Thanks, and have a great concert tonight.
Thank you very
Thank you very much.